Dang it. Come on. Just one more. Almost made it. Welcome back to another video here on Mummified Games. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be taking a look at the classic genre of lunar lander games with one that hits all the marks and really lands with me. We're talking about Crash Lander by Dawn Whitaker. Whitaker? I hardly even know her. The genre of lunar lander games have been technically around since an old text-based game in 1969, but the first real-time graphic one, the kind that we know of as the first lunar lander game, was 10 years later in 1979 with the help of Atari. Fun fact, Lunar Lander had a fuel for money system, so if someone wanted, they could keep pumping quarters into the arcade cabinet and it would give their lander more fuel so they could play for longer, sort of being the precursor to modern microtransactions. Wild to think this sort of thing has been around since essentially the 80s. Okay, enough about the past. 40 years later, we've moved beyond black and white pixel 2D arcade games that hoover up your quarters and onto full 3D lunar lander games that cost me less than 1 cent that I can play over and over without any problem. Crash Lander is a great hit the mark, no joke, standard 3D lunar lander game. It's exactly what someone might be looking for. Controls are exactly what one would want them to be. Space, left click, or A on the controller give the lander thrust, and then WASD, arrow keys, or the left joystick causes the lander to tilt one way or another, giving it directional movement. It uses basic flight controls. Anyone who's familiar with drones will know that there are 2 different modes that a player can fly in. In one mode, if a pilot tilts the roll or pitch stick, it'll move the drone in that direction. And if the pilot tilts it more, it will rotate the drone in that direction faster. Letting go of the stick won't return it to a flat level. A pilot's going to need to counter the movement by pushing the stick in the other direction. It won't right itself unless the pilot tells it to. It's similar to the flight mode in any flight sim game, such as Skyrogue. In this game though, the player doesn't have to worry about all that. The lander will right itself to be parallel with the surface of the planet it is on. The player doesn't have to worry about correcting the lander's angular position, only worry about the lander's position to the ground. Speaking of your position in relation to the ground, the main mode I played the most in Crash Lander was the Lunar Lander mode, where the game gives a series of pads that one has to land on. The player will need to beat a certain time if they want to get a full 3-star rank. There are a bunch of levels where one finds themselves in an odd and weird lands. You need to move over mountains and around alien trees. They all act weird and different. The lander, when it's flat, shows you a circle compass thing that points in the direction of the next pad you need to go to, along with a number that's climbing on the top back center of the lander. That is your time on the track. Yo, but on the back left, there's a flying spaghetti monster decal. Shout out to my Pastafarian fam out there. Big love. What? Okay, back on topic. Crash Lander is hard to control, and I can't tell if it's because the lander is hard to control or if it's me being bad at the game, but I think that's half the fun. There are so many times where I'm just throwing the lander from one side of the map to the other to try to cut down on my time, and then it's time to start slowing down, and suddenly I'm saying, no, and then the propane tanks fall off and I explode. Whoops. That was something that was fun after getting out of the tutorial level. Realizing that you should avoid bumping into things at high rates of speed. Things go boom really quickly. The one big complaint that I noted is this. So the game gives you a compass that shows you where to go next, but the pads you intend to land on are in a 3D space, so there might be times where a pad is hidden way down below in a cave. I know that in the 3rd or 4th world, this was a bit of an issue. I was left trying to find the 2nd and then the 3rd pad for quite a while. It is a great game that isn't cluttered with obstructing UI elements, such as a fuel level or a mini-map, but I would love just one more bit of info from this game. At least something to give me a bit lower, nope, you need to climb, sort of indicator thing. There is a second game format where you need to fly through a bunch of rings, but I never got to that side of things. I was way too busy trying to beat my pad times and also collect the artifact things that might be around the level. There was already enough in this game that I felt great about recommending it before I even got to the second half of it all. That's saying something. $5 for a honestly solid lander game. Not to mention that this game also has Oculus and HTC VR support. This fact alone is enough for me to add it to a new new VR games to get to collection on my itch account. I've been saving for a new computer, and if I just keep saving about $100 a week by not eating as much Taco Bell, then it should be enough for me to get it in about 20 weeks. And then after that, buy a nice VR headset. Enough about me though. I think my preference in the controls were to use the 360 controller. It gives such a better fine tune to the controls. It's similar to trying to play racing games with a keyboard and mouse. You just can't do it. Hitting the gas is all or nothing. There's no gradual in between. With a controller, you can do subtle movements and roll directional movements from forward to one side. It's good stuff. I highly recommend that you take a look and give it a whirl, especially if you got this game out of the Racial Justice Bundle of 2020. And even if you didn't, it's $5 on itch and Steam. If you can spare the coin, I highly recommend it. What do you all think about this? If you've played this game, how many stars have you collected? If you haven't played this game, tell me about another lunar lander game that you love. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. In the meantime, storms are rolling in. I'm gonna go give my hair a nice rain wash, letting the heavy rain just wash away any nasty stuff out of your hair, letting the nice clean rainwater get to you and not have to worry about the city treated water. You all do the YouTube dance. Like, sub, hit the bell, comment your thoughts, share, and tell someone you know about these videos. It all helps a lot. And as always, friends, keep digging. We'll make it out sometime. See you in the next one. In this game, though, the player don't have to worry about that now. Hang on, man.